Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 3 for BCOM 3113. I am just going to go through real quickly what we're going to accomplish this week and be done. This week, again, we have kind of a short week with the holiday. I've pushed back the due date of the exam just to give you a little bit extra time. Trying to be understanding of that. So we are working on getting the first kind of assignments that we've had turned into Brightspace graded. The self-introduction PowerPoint assignment has been graded, so look for that. There's a rubric attached to that as well, so you can kind of see what the point layout was. And then this week we'll be working on grading the responses that you had. So again, you have any questions or issues with any of that stuff, just let me know. So let's take a look at this week's items. So I'm on D2L for the class, so underneath week 3, make sure you download the outline. We really only have 2 things to do this week. The first is the Who Am I memo, so that is still due Sunday. 11:59 p.m. right, due September 11th, which is actually Monday morning at midnight, but again we want to finish that up Sunday night by 11:59. So with major assignments, remember, if you look at the syllabus, very important, big point discounts if we're late on that, so make sure that doesn't happen. Several people have submitted late assignments for the discussion assignment, but you know, big point deduction on major assignments, which the Who Am I memo is one. So please keep that in mind and do not turn it in late. The other thing that we're going to accomplish is the first test. So it's over the first 3 chapters out of the textbook, and again, you can use your textbook, you can use your notes. Now I do have this set up through Brightspace, so it does require the Respondus Lockdown browser. But you know, you are welcome to obviously have your notes in front of you and your textbook with a different device if you do use the lockdown browser, or when you use the lockdown browser, it may not allow you to open your textbook in a separate window. So keep that in mind when you're sitting down to work on this. So again, you've got only one total attempt that you can do for this. So obviously you want to make sure that you save the answers to all the questions and then go back and check them, because you can only submit it one time. So, but the fact that it's open book, really no excuse for anybody, for none of us to do poorly on this, right? We should all do well, if not get 100%. So I have my expectations high for all of you. So keep that in mind this week as you work on this. Obviously, your life is going to be made much easier if you work through, if you have already read the chapters, and that of course is what we've been doing these first 2 weeks. So if you missed any of those reading assignments, you know, you need to sit down and read through those chapters, because the test will be very difficult and take you much longer if you have not done that. Obviously this is through my instructor view, but if I hit preview here, you can get an idea of what it's going to be like. It does have a time period, you know, so you only have 1 attempt allowed, so make sure, again, you can save your responses and come back to it without submitting it, so keep that in mind. If you launch the browser, that's the instructions that you're going to want to follow. Yeah, I have here, I don't have it installed yet, so keep that in mind. You're going to have to install it first, and it'll be multiple choice, 50 questions. Some of them are true false, most of them are like 5 option multiple choice questions. That's what we want to do. Again, we've had kind of a revolving door roller coaster of dealing with some changes in personnel for the class for our TAs. We actually now have 2 TAs. So I know in last week's video I said I was going to send out some information, and I did not, but this week I promise you I will. So be on the lookout. By the end of this week I'll send out an email with the contact information for our TAs, and that's going to be very important leading into next week, because next week we're going to be starting the group work, and one of the things that you have to do is you'll have to include the TA's email addresses so that you can add them to your Google Docs that your group's going to have. So again, you've probably noticed on the discussion board that there's some new group work discussion folders, we haven't started any of that yet, so don't worry about it yet. We'll release that information Sunday, and I'll post an update video where we go through it, and you'll have plenty of time to work on it. So just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. As always, email me with any questions that you might have, and I hope you all are having a great week.